This is how we ride. This is how we
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a very interesting day. Of course, the debut of Ryan Timms at River Cities. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes. But this video, I feel like, could gain some legs down the road. I think that this video may not just pertain to tonight, Friday, August 26th, for Ryan Timms and the World of Outlaws. You know, the All-Star Circuit of Champions raced at Bridgeport for $12,000. Now, when I think about the All-Star Circuit of Champions, we all kind of think of it, I believe, as a regional series. It traditionally has been. It has branched out here recently in the last 2 years in particular. Ever since COVID happened, it seemed like they kind of really started to branch out. Of course, it is the original touring sprint car series of America. And it's also been one of those series that most people have looked kind of like as a Busch series. And the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series is the Cup series of the sprint car racing world. But with the things that have been happening recently and some of the big entities out there, are we going to be seeing a potential future here in the sprint car racing industry where the All-Star Circuit of Champions can slowly become the 1A sprint car division of the United States of America? You may ask yourself why. Well, tonight's race at the River City Speedway is $10,000 to win. Bridgeport paid more to win. Now, from my understanding, the pay throughout the fields definitely a little bit different, but 12 to win, 10 to win, $2,000 more. And the All-Star Circuit of Champions is being a little bit nicer to the high-limit sprint car series that's being put on by Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet. But the other option, the other thing that may encourage drivers to also go to the All-Star Circuit of Champions is this. So the All-Star Circuit of Champions going and taking ignition boxes and sending off for additional testing as well as tire samples. It looks like this is from Justin Peck and Anthony Macri, the Parker Price Miller 11 machine. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I hope that they do post the tire sample results and everything like that, because I think we need some more transparency in the sprint car racing world. We don't really see a lot of tire samples or tire testing results being published or marketed, really, like we do in the late model world. In the late model world, it's always tire testing, this, that, and the other, droop rules, everything on the platform, pushed out there by everybody. It's like XR Super Series posts their tire test results on their Facebook page just for transparency and validity to their series, so they could show everyone that it's being fair and honest to everyone. They're doing that on late models with 4-link suspensions. We're over here on sprint cars with a big-ass wing and bar suspension, torsion bars, and shocks. On a 4-link suspension vehicle versus a torsion bar vehicle with giant tires, I don't understand why tire sampling and testing is not one of the big things in the sprint car industry that should be put out there to encourage fairness across the sport. A lot of people would call a sprint car a giant go-kart. In the go-kart racing industry, it is nothing but tire dope that makes the difference between the guy who wins or finishes 5th or 10th. So why the heck the emphasis for tire testing, sampling, and publishing results of those tire tests is not a subject to be discussed or a subject to be published or a subject to be known in the sprint car racing industry? It's beyond me. I don't understand why this is not a topic of discussion and basically a marquee standard for the sprint car racing industry across their biggest events, biggest series, and biggest shows. But I do like what the All-Star Circuit of Champions is doing here, and with all the things that are happening in the sprint car racing industry, we may be seeing the turn of the tide. The World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series started a few years after the All-Star Circuit of Champions, and with all the things that are going on, there is a huge possibility that the power that the World of Outlaws have had for all these years as the 1A series and the Cup series and the All-Stars being the Busch may be slowly turning here very soon, especially with their willingness to work with Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet and allow their drivers to run these big high-limit shows next year. There's a lot of moving pieces right now. It's hard to project that, but they're publicly putting out fairness. They're letting all their competitors and people who potentially could be a competitor be known that we are being very straightforward and fair with even our championship contender, Justin Peck. And we're also letting every one of our potential drivers in our future in 2023 know that you can run the high-limit sprint car series and run the All-Star Circuit of Champions. We're not going to hold you back. You can come over here, be free, race for $12,000 to win instead of 10. Make sure that the winners are being teched and checked properly and their tires are being sampled and tested, as they should be in sprint car racing publicly. And you can also be free in the All-Star Circuit of Champions, which is where Brent Marks was. And I guarantee you we're going to be seeing a lot more drivers come in 2023 go down that same path as a Brent Marks has in 2022.
This is how we ride.